Can you even see out of that thing? Like, at all?
Of course I can. How else do you think I managed to avoid tripping everywhere I go?
What is that thing anyway? It doesn't look like anything Dan and I've ever seen.
Beats me. I don't remember anything about my past. When I came to, I was already wearing it. If I could get it off, I would. Damn thing makes it hard to eat, and I can't scratch my face when it itches. It's the worst.
Honestly, I'm just impressed you've managed to survive this long looking like that. I'm sure you attract attention wherever you go.
Most of the other Danans don't pay it any mind. It's in everyone's best interest to just keep their heads down, focus on their work, and pretend they don't notice.
What about the Renan soldiers? Didn't they notice?
The guards? They're more the kill first, ask questions later type. Be in the wrong place or step out of line and you're dead. Mask or no mask. That said, as long as you keep your head down and don't cause trouble, they mostly ignore you. Honestly, sometimes they don't look all that keen to stir up trouble themselves. A friend of mine said it's because if they kill us without a good reason, it could delay the work and put them behind schedule. At that point, it'd be their necks on the line. You should know more about all that than me, though, right?
I don't serve any of the lords. But I see what you mean. After 3 centuries of run and rule without much upheaval, it's possible the soldiers might be losing their edge. All this trouble we've caused might be the first excitement they've had in a while.
Well, I don't plan on getting killed for their amusement.
And with that, I'll say Shion asked a very good question. How does he function with that mask on? So allegedly he could see, which I mean, I guess he has the cracks in his mask and everything. But like I said, there's a moment where there's going to be something that I'm going to question a little bit later about how he's able to even do that without like suffering with the mask. Hello everybody, my name is David, you can call me Zen, and welcome back to another episode of Tales of Arise. In the last episode we got the game started and we are more or less just continuing with the introduction of the game. We got rescued by the Crimson Fireflies and we're about to meet up with Zephyr to get out from a Renan invasion.
Glad to see you made it. I heard you managed to escape, but I didn't expect to see old Iron Mask with you. In any case, we're all wanted by the Renans. It'll be easier for everyone if you both just come with me.
Where are the others?
They're waiting for us up ahead. Come on.
Ah yes, the good old anime cutscene. But I love the intros of Tales games because they always just like front loaded with like a whole bunch of animated cutscenes. I just love it. But we're surrounded because that would be the expected thing to happen.
Just look at all these soldiers. How badly did they want to destroy this hideout?
Apprehend the traitor! Slaughter the rest!
I still think that it was a very dumb call to yeet that sword, by the way, because that's his only way of defense. Now he's just more or less screwed. And also, Shion just had like the most silly interaction ever. Like she got hit with the. Shion just had like it hit her chest, and she's like, "Oh, that's gonna hurt." So my other problem with this scene is that this is like the most guilty crown like looking scene that I've seen in a while, you know, holding the damsel in distress, pulling a sword out of her chest, and like it's just kind of goofy to me.
Impossible.
The Master Core. He was embedded within her all along. No matter. Kill her if you have to. Just retrieve the core.
I'm also very scared to hit start to like talk over this type of cutscene because I know I can pause the in-game cutscenes to talk. But I don't know about the anime ones. I don't want to accidentally skip it. Otherwise, that's just gonna be real awkward. You know, not being able to feel pain must have its own like little benefits right now, because to be honest, like his hands probably should have been singed off with how much fire was actually being like poured out of him, well, out of that sword.
You okay?
And even in the game, you guys can see like his hands are like crispy.
How about that? Guess it's just as well I can't feel it, huh?
You're not in agony? Wait, are you serious?
Hold still.
Huh?
But this is where we learned that Xion can also heal us. So, you know, we have a man that can't feel anything, but could also heal. Oh, that's what they mean by the eyes lighting up.
It's one of my healing arts.
I had a question about that last episode. That's what they mean.
A sword that sears the hand of he who wields it, and a healing art to mend. A man numb to pain, and a woman whose very touch deals nothing but.
Okay, Zephyr, you don't have to be poetic. You can cut that out.
Thank you.
All right, let's rout the bastards and finish them off before the surviving stragglers have a chance to regroup. Iron Mask, you coming?
Definitely. I'm not about to go back all that way alone.
So I guess you're not planning on releasing me, huh?
Sorry, you're coming with us.
In that case, there's one thing you should know. No one uses that flaming sword without my say-so.
I mean,
You needn't worry on that
you
score.
only met the
I doubt
one
many of us
person who
get
could use
close to
it
in the
because he could
first place,
actually touch
but we'd
you
want to.
and the sword. Now, the one thing that I hope that doesn't happen is that I hope that Iron Mask doesn't get his like pain receptors back. Otherwise, it's gonna be real awkward later.
Maybe even to surpass it.
Are you sure you're okay?
What do you mean?
Your wound. That soldier nailed you pretty good. Not to mention those flames bursting from you.
They only hit my master core, so I'll be fine. And the flames weren't even hot. It's probably because they're just a manifestation of the astral energy. Honestly, I'm more surprised that you really are incapable of feeling pain.
Did you think I was faking?
No, I believed you. I guess seeing you stay calm while bearing those burns to your hands just really made it hit home for me.
Not the fact that he was
That's
carrying
ironic.
you when you
I
electrocute
have
quite
no
literally
problem hurting
everybody
anyone
else.
who touches me. But as soon as I try to wield that sword, it's me who gets hurt.
Do you wish you were impervious to pain too? You realize you could burn your fingers off without even noticing, right?
So what? All I need right now is power. And up until now, I haven't come across anything stronger than that blazing sword the whole time I've been doing this.
You really don't care what happens to you as long as you get what you're after, do you?
Don't talk like you know me.
You... You're right. I don't get you. I don't get why you're so quick to throw it all away. Not when us slaves have never had a choice in whether we lived or died.
You know, I don't know if befriending Xion, like, befriending is really the right wording that I would use. But Zephyr also joined the party, so I'll be happy with that. So this is probably the part of the game where I imagine if I see this pop up, that means that they're gonna be, you know, a playable person for us if I chose to play as Xion. I'm probably gonna mess around with a lot of the different characters in the game eventually, so it isn't gonna be something too unique. I was a little bit sad about this change though, coming from playing other Tales games where there's now a separate like resource for doing cures and stuff, but that makes sense considering that we don't have TP. We just have the little diamond things that we had in Tales of Berseria. So, I mean, I'm familiar enough. I've played a lot of other Tales games before. So this will be just something different. But I wasn't expecting as drastic of an overhaul when it came to Tales of Arise, so this is just going to be interesting to see how everything ultimately plays out. With that in mind, we finally got to our first region of Calaglia. Like I mentioned in the previous episode, I have played up till the end of this like mini arc, so to speak, so I will kind of have an idea of like what's coming up. But then after we get past here, I probably won't have any idea what's happening. So it's just something to bear in mind, more or less.
Stronghold of Lord
It also doesn't help that this is my third time recording this section, and I'll go into why I had to record it so many times.
This close before.
That's it, all right. And next to it are the gates of fire. Take a good long look while you still can. That wall is what we've come to tear down.
Yep, we got past that wall, all right.
The only thing standing between us and freedom.
Freedom.
Let's go.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on with the game a little bit. So thankfully, when I've had to re-record this so many times, I kind of have a general idea of what's coming up. The first time that I had to re-record this, obviously, was when I was doing like the 2.0 for the series effectively. And the second time was because when I did the initial recording for this, right? My audio sounded very goofy, to say the least. But because of the fact that my audio sounded very like poor, I just figured that it would be in my better interest to just go on ahead and re-record, because I only recorded the first two parts. So just to re-record these two parts and then kind of go on about my day. It's something that has happened before, and I mean, it's not the worst thing.
Normally I don't pick on the weak.
So now for this golem fight, I gotta be very careful with how... Oh, he did a forward slash, not a... Okay, I tried. So one of the things that I keep doing on accident is that I cannot do a mid-air dodge. Oh no, does he not get an XP for that?
I need to be stronger.
Okay, he still does. I was actually going to be like very sad if he didn't get XP because he was downed. There is one thing that's like gonna boggle my nerves a little bit when it comes to playing this game though, is that I'm not good with mimics in games. I've always just been very spooked by just random inanimate objects that come to life and try to kill me, and it makes me a little spooked. So if there are mimics in this game, which as far as I know, there's not, I hope, that's just gonna suck later.
That barely worked up a sweat.
Speak for yourself. What do you want, a medal? Doesn't look like we're being followed. Fail to grab these rare moments of quiet when you can. You'll end up regretting it later.
You're the boss.
All right, so we're getting introduced to mechanics as we're going along with it. We have the campfires. So, honestly, I think of campfires as just a moment's reprieve. This game you can save anywhere, everywhere. So there isn't really that big of a like con if there isn't necessarily a con to like not using these, because obviously you can save, but there's more benefits to not, because you get your cure points restored this way. There's also the fact that, you know, on the screen you can rewatch skits and other cutscenes. So we do have some skits in this campfire, so I'm gonna go ahead and play those right away. They also talk just during the campfire in general, but it's all like world building stuff, and I feel like the skits would be a greater contributor to that, so I'm gonna prioritize showing off the skits rather than their campfire talk.
Why aren't you concerned about who I am?
You feeling left out, son?
No, it's not that. But
You said you wanted to fight so that you can live a free man. At this point, that's all that matters. Even if it somehow turned out you were a Renin, it wouldn't be such a big deal.
a Renin?
Until we know who you are, we can't rule anything out. Besides, we've already got Shion with us. At this point, what's one more Renin as long as they're on our side?
Zephyr brings up good points,
So you
by
don't
the way.
see every Renin as an enemy?
Our goal isn't to hunt down and kill all Renins. We only arm ourselves as much as
But it's
we
ultimately
need to
giving Zephyr's
set ourselves free.
I don't see color.
If you can believe it, not every Danon agrees with what we're doing either.
Are you saying we have enemies among the Danans?
Not quite. They're just not up for rebelling, per se. The thing you have to remember is that everyone has their own path to walk.
This is true.
I'm not sure I understand.
That's okay. Just focus on what we have to do right now. However, the time will come when you'll need to decide what to do for yourself.
How come you don't have a scar on your hand?
A scar? What do you mean?
The Crimson Crows all tore off their own spirit cores, right? But your hand doesn't show any signs of ever having a core like theirs.
I'm guessing that Iron Mask isn't running. You guys gonna have like an identity crisis, but that's just kind of how traditional amnesiac stories kind of go.
Seriously? You have that mask, you don't feel any pain, and you just happen to know how to fight with a sword? No way. You must remember something.
I'm not lying if that's what you think. Believe me, I wish I knew who the hell I am, but I don't. It's funny how I didn't have any time for soul searching while digging up rocks in a mine.
To be fair, she was also
Are you
captured.
saying you've told us everything about yourself?
Zephyr.
Ooh,
It's bad manners to pry when
Gotta
you've got
say,
plenty
he's,
to hide yourself.
You're not gonna ask me about my past too?
Only when I think it's necessary. You're a real man of mystery, I'll admit. That said, I'm not one to dig around in someone's business just out of curiosity. If you remember something and feel like sharing, you're free to do so. For now, I think that's good enough.
Right. Thank you.
Normally, we should take
oh,
turns standing
three.
guard.
I'll say we have 3 skits. Oh my
So
goodness, I
this
thought we only had
whole
2.
you not feeling pain thing, is that for real?
Why
Yes.
would I lie about it?
You've
Why would
seen.
you care anyway?
No, it's just, you know,
Um,
I can't
Shion
imagine what
just-
it's like, that's all.
As a slave, I'd say it has its advantages and disadvantages.
Shion, please.
On the upside,
He
when Renan
used the
soldiers
blazing
push me around,
sword.
I hardly flinch. The downside
He's
is that I
able
get
to
injured
hold
without
you
even noticing.
when
Which
literally
means I could be
everybody else
knocking on death's
electrocutes
door and
you.
not even realize it.
Really?
Sure, I may be numb to pain, but it doesn't make me immortal or anything. Still, I wouldn't have noticed any of this if someone hadn't pointed it out to me. If not for my fellow slaves, I'd be long dead, lying in a ditch somewhere.
Okay. So one of the other things I want to bring up very quickly, you could also see all your DLC stuff here. I do have some DLC stuff from my friend gifted this game to me way back around the time of its launch. So I had all the pre-order bonuses, and then I also have Before the Dawn, because that is a part of the game that I do want to play as well. So I just wanted to kind of brush over that now. Something else that's a little bit interesting about the campfires before we rest is that in the lower right hand corner area, there used to be like an advertisement basically telling you, hey, there's DLC available. Now we just have this little button, which I don't agree that should be there in the first place either, but it is what it is. The game also reminds you that the menu is something that exists. You can go to the art screen, you have ground attacks, aerial attacks. I mainly came in here to use first aid on Iron Mask, so that way he's full health, even though we're about to rest and get full health anyway, but we're also gonna get full CP, so it ultimately does not matter.
A Master Core, huh? Now I see. So that's why Balsef's cronies were so desperate to catch her.
Is that what it's called? The jewel in her chest?
Oh, right. You don't remember a damn thing, do you?
Not
Fair
in
enough.
the
I guess
slightest.
It's time to fill you back in. Tell me, you ever wonder why we Danans are made to work ourselves to the bone, day in, day out?
Well, when you put it like that, I always just assumed we were mining resources for them.
And don't you think it'd be quicker if they used all that high-powered tech they have? Why go to all the trouble of relying on weak human labor? Listen, what the Renans are really after isn't resources or minerals. It's astral energy. They're harvesting the astral energy that sleeps inside all matter in life forms. And they're doing it the same way they have for the past 300 years, using us Danans as mere siphons.
right. They have machines for minerals, but extracting from Danons requires spirit cores. Any astral energy collected passes through a spirit vessel on its way to being stored in a master core.
But why go to the trouble of collecting all this energy in the first place? Do they really need all that juice just to use astral arts?
It determines the Sovereign.
Sovereign? Is that the Renan ruler?
Exactly. 5 lords, each doing whatever it takes to gather as much astral energy as they can and store it in their master cores. Whichever of them manages to accumulate the most power at the end of their contest is crowned the ruler of the Renan motherland. A new crown contest, as they call it, is held every decade or so.
So you see, the Master Cores are the receptacles in which the Lords store their power, and we Danons are sacrificed so the Renans can choose their new ruler.
That's insane! You're telling me that's what our people have been dying for this whole time?
Relax, hero. You're not the only one who's bent out of shape about the whole thing. There are 2 things that I haven't been able to get my head around yet. What business would a Renan have stealing a Master Core? And what's the deal with that blazing sword?
These are 2 also, I'll say, Zephyr's been incredibly perceptive,
is a physical manifestation
like, this entire
of the Master
time.
Core's astral energy. As for why it took the shape of a sword, well, I don't know any more than you do. Honest.
And that stuff about needing your permission to use it? What was that about?
Okay, I just had to see if I could actually just pause mid cutscene so I can talk about. Yeah, so like I was mentioning before, Zephyr's actually been incredibly perceptive, and it's been very nice to have somebody who like understands that like what type of job that he has to do, and then what we need to do to kind of move things forward. And that I think is something that's been pretty important in these games, because a lot of the time, a lot of the heroes and a lot of the good, or at least the subjectively good guys is that they'll just be kind of oblivious and they'll kind of stumble along their way into learning. But since we have somebody who can actually give a lot of the exposition between both Xion and Zephyr, it's been like a very nice change of pace. I like it.
I'm the only one of us who can control the Master Core to some extent. Without me to adjust the flow of astral energy, the sword can't take a physical form.
What do you want out of this? You may be one of them, but you don't strike me as the ruthless oppressor type.
I'm going to take down all of the lords.
Okay, we love that. We stan.
Never thought I'd say this, but I like the cut of your jib, Renan. Very well. As far as we're concerned, the struggle continues either way. And with that sword on our side, our chances of victory just increased. That is, of course, assuming we can count the 2 of you in.
Our objectives line up for the time being, so I don't see a reason why not.
Fine by me. After all, it sounds like we're after the same thing anyway.
And one thing I can appreciate, even though Xion kind of is just like against our team, and like I actually just appreciate this cutscene a lot so far. She understands that she can't really get as far as she would like on her own, especially since she can't use the sword from the Master Core herself. But, you know, she had found someone who could actually use it, and so we could actually probably take on Balsef.
Honestly, I'm still a little confused by all this. But if it's a choice between this or going back to being a slave, then I choose to fight.
Then it's settled. Together we'll overthrow the Renan Lords. And first up on that chopping block is Balsef, the wild beast. Sound good?
All right, everyone's on the same page. So we got our next little objective ahead of us.
I've gotta hurry.
This cuts, I'll say her dreams intrigue me more than Iron Mask's dreams. but I feel like the two are probably connected in some way, shape, or form. It's probably not too far-fetched to say something like that.
Out in Ulzebek, not far from here.
Okay, so we
Should be
have
able to
one
meet up with our
more
comrades there.
we have one more skit because we have so many of these.
Cut it out. Didn't anyone ever tell you it's rude to stare?
How do you know if he's staring? He could be just he could just be disassociating right now.
Somewhere before.
Shion,
What's so hard
can't just
to
be assuming.
understand? I'm Renan, you're Danon. There's no way. Besides, I'm from Lenegus. Trust me, wherever you were before you lost your memory, we've never crossed paths.
Lenegus? You mean the same Lenegus that's up in the sky? I've heard it called the Renan's Castle, but I never imagined people actually lived up there.
Well then, where did you think we all lived? Didn't you see the Renan Lords descend for the crown contest?
And how long ago was that?
Well, the current contest started 7 years ago, so...
Then I wouldn't remember.
Just how far back do you remember?
About a year, give or take. That's how long ago Doc found me.
1 year. Then no. I'm sorry, but there really is no way we could have met.
Guess
I
not.
think that Iron Mask is a Renan as well. But I wonder if there are just Renans who are not proficient at using astral arts. Like, I know that it's been said as like a blanket statement that they all should be universally good at them, but is that a guarantee? That's something that just now kind of came to mind. But we already have our next little objective. We have to head over to the next town for a bit, and so
It's edible.
we can do that. But I also want to make sure that we're grabbing all the resources along the way, just so that way we can work with cooking and crafting. I know some people getting ingredients, and ingredients have been typically a Tales staple in most cases. So wouldn't surprise me whenever we actually get the privilege to start cooking. A lot of time the cooking, I normally use it to just get healing for our team. I know in other games some people have used it to get stat bonuses or to set up like specific
I don't think we
things.
can take it right now.
All right, so so in one of my previous recordings, I actually went up and I fought this or attempted to fight this gigantic Zoogle. We can't fight him right now. I'll probably play back a clip from, because I still have the older recording as of the time of this recording. So because of that, I can go on ahead and show off that clip. So while I'm going to clear out the rest of these Zoogles, you guys have seen some of the battles already. I'll show you guys my attempt in realizing like what that looks like. Just know that for these mobs, and I'll probably show them off in the next fighter episode or something. Yeah, you know, just roll the tape.
We've almost made it to Ulzebek.
Okay. My brain's like, yo, bet. What level is it? Oh, it's level 43. Okay. I flipped around and then I found out. Oh God, how do I run? Oh my God. Oh, and Zephyr's gone too.
Normal creepy crawlies aren't disgusting enough.
Okay, I'm sorry. Like she's a queen for that, but I only literally do 2 damage. I don't know how to leave. Oh, wait, what do you mean I can't flee? Wait, what do you mean I can't flee? Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, let me leave. Let me leave. You can't dodge midair. You can't dodge midair. Fiona, please die. I'm sorry, but girl, it's not happening. Girl, don't do it. Girl, no, girl, why should you do it? Okay, so you guys have already now just kind of got an idea of like what I possibly would have been dealing with. I probably won't be back here until much later in the game, because that guy is at least level 40. and I probably won't be able to attempt it until at least like level 30 for just an example. But the thing that bothers me that was like very weird about fighting him is that I was actually doing a pretty good job dodging. I just wish that air dodges were a thing in the game, and they might be. I may have just not unlocked that skill or capability yet. But in the meantime, I'm taking this opportunity to fight all the mobs and try to squeeze in as much experience as I can.
I won't forgive you.
I think that this is probably going to be one of those games where as long as I fight like every mob that's on the field at least once, I'll probably stay like aptly leveled. All right, having Zephyr here to help is also the other reason why I'd like to grind. Mainly because I think Zephyr's probably going to fall into the category of being what I would like to call a temporary party member, where he's basically just going to be here until the story deems otherwise. The last thing I want to make sure I pick up before I forget is that I want to pick up this Danon Owl. So I guess the game's going to go over this later, but just know that there are owls across the world, and they give us accessories to put on our characters, or at least they're supposed to. I don't know why that one didn't give me it, but it is what it is. But I think we've done enough stalling. Let's go ahead and head over to town. I already forgot the name of it. I think it's Zephyr said it, so just know that Zephyr said it. Olzebek. I'm surprised I didn't like wholeheartedly butcher that, but I'm glad that I said it.
Okay, people, this is it. Olzebek.
No sign of any Renan guardsmen.
The Renans aren't as populous as the Danons. Probably figure stationing guards in a place like this would be a waste of precious manpower.
Which makes this a good, perfect resistance
So this
spot.
is where the next safe house is?
Yes. The last place they'd think to look for enemies is on their own doorstep.
That is, assuming anyone actually made it here before us.
Zephyr!
Well, look, someone who
Looks
made it
like
here
we
before
needn't be
us.
worried. Come on.
All right, I think that this is as good as time as any to go on ahead and end things off here. So next time on Tales of Arise, we're going to kind of meet up and kind of devise probably a plan to go on ahead and deal with the Renan occupation here in Calaglia. So next time on Tales of Arise, we're going to be figuring out just that, and maybe we can figure out some other new gameplay systems along the way. Thank you guys also very much for watching. Make sure you guys like, dislike, comments, all the interactions. So that way in the future, I know if I'm doing things right or wrong. So thank you guys also very much for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. See you guys then.